This is Whitetail Rendezvous Podcast with Bruce Hutchin, episode number 003.
Welcome to Whitetail Rendezvous Podcast, where it is all about whitetail deer hunting tips, techniques, and the stories so you can become a more successful whitetail deer hunter. And now your host, Bruce Hutchin.
In today's episode, Bill Winke from Midwest Whitetail is going to share some really great secrets about watching your wind, err on the side of caution, and just keep it simple.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Bruce Hutchin, your host for Whitetail Rendezvous. And I am truly excited to have somebody that I learn a lot every single fall. I daily hope I get something in my email inbox from Midwest Whitetails, Bill Winke. Bill, say hello to the folks.
Hey, it's good to be here. I appreciate it, Bruce, and looking forward to visiting with you. You had mentioned you wanted a little bit of background on me, so I'll kind of throw some stuff out here, and then we can dive into the subject of hunting whitetails. I grew up in the northeast part of Iowa, and back when I was a kid, there weren't a lot of whitetail deer. I mean, it was really almost an unhuntable low number of deer. So I was more of a bird hunter and duck, pheasants, ruffed, grouse, and fisherman. And the deer hunting kind of came on a little bit later. So I know a lot of people grew up with deer in their backyard and do it for their kids. But for me, I really kind of came into it maybe in my mid-20s after graduating from college and kind of get back in the road a little bit and seeing a few places. And so it's been, but of course my mid-20s have been a long time ago too. I like to think that was just around the corner, but it wasn't. I've had a really good education because back in the early 90s, I started writing for the Outdoor magazine, primarily from the standpoint of the technical writing, which was actually my mechanical engineering background, which that was my first profession. I was working as a mechanical engineer, and then I got into writing business and took advantage of some of that type of background to do some more technical writing about the products and how to use the products and so forth. And that moved its way into the whitetail deer arena, and little by little, I've been in this industry and growing and learning and being in the field a lot ever since the early 90s professionally. So, I guess 2008 was when we started Midwest Whitetail. That began on the web for our online shows, MidwestWhitetail.com. So in 2010, we started producing Midwest Whitetail TV on the Sportsman channel. So we've been doing both ever since. The website is really focused on the things that are happening during the current time. So in the fall of 2015, we'll be showing that we're doing, almost daily during the fall of 2015, whereas the TV episodes will air in 2016 with that same footage. So anyway, that's my background, and I'm ready to roll into whatever you want.
And thanks for that, Bill. Let's talk about how you select a guy or a gal for your pro staff. I know we got listeners out there that said, wow, I'd love to, be a pro staff for X company. What do you look for in a guy or a gal to add to your team?
Well, and that's a really, really good question, because we do get a pile of people that ask about that. In fact, that's probably the number one question that we get. And the answer is fairly simple. Generally speaking, the people who are in love with video and really enjoy teaching people are the ones who are successful. Because at the end of the day, very, very few people are going to become a celebrity or going to take it to the next level where they're doing something professionally within the hunting industry. So the people who come into it from that standpoint thinking, hey, I'm going to be a post office that's going to get discovered, there's just, there's 500,000 of those people. So that's not realistic. What is realistic is to be able to contribute and be part of a team and to really help people. And, you're not going to do that and invest the time and energy that's required if you don't really love the video part of it. Because it's not as much fun as what people think.
It's work.
Yeah. And it's not nearly as glamorous as what people think it is. You know, you do it because you love it, and you'd be doing it anyway. You know, so we don't have very many post-ops that are successful that weren't already doing something like this and already loved it. So anyway, our process is that they just email info@midwestwhitetail.com, and we send them the information on how to apply for the post-op. And then we have criteria that are important that all kind of start out in the application. They send in their audition material, and we decide whether or not they are acceptable, and if so, at what level. So we've got kind of a little bit of a time club, if you want to call it that, or a AAA team, where the people can learn the craft. If they seem like they've got the right attitude, and then, you know, as they become better at it, then we can bump them up to the first habit on the post off. So that's how we do it. We've got a big post off because we cover basically the whole eastern two-thirds of the United States, and you know, that's a lot of country to cover. So we've got a lot of people out there, and that's in the system that we come up with that works the best.
Thanks for that info. Let's talk about whitetails. You've been at the game a long time. You're really good at it. And I get the teaching part because on every single episode or show that I watch, you're always, you know, giving people nuggets of information. Who helped you get started in the industry, hunting whitetails?
Well, the hunting part was a natural. Getting started in the industry, obviously that's not a simple thing, and everybody's got their own path. But I actually got my start writing for Peterson's Bow Hunting magazine. And a fellow that I met by the name of Greg Kingsley was the editor of the magazine at that time. This was like 90 or 91. And we had spent some time working together at the same company. I was working as an engineer. He was working as a public relations person. And then, you know, he went past the magazine as the editor. He kind of encouraged me to contribute some items. And so Greg was really an early inspiration. Another one who helped me a lot early on was Gordon Whittington, who was the editor at Whitetail magazine at the time. He's still involved with the magazine, but he's more of a top-level person who's got the day-to-day editing. But Gordon sort of took me under his wing, too. And it was tough, you know. I mean, everybody thinks that a life as somebody in the hunting industry has got to be a lot of fun and a lot of glamour, but the first year I did it full-time, I think it was 91 or 92, and I made $8,000 that year.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and my wife wasn't rich. So we basically had to find a way to live on $8,000. And I built fence, and I built hay, and I did other stuff on the side, you know, just to make sure that we could afford to go to a movie once in a while and, you know, that sort of thing. But, you know, that wasn't like in the 1940s when $8,000 would have been a lot of money. So it's pretty funny, I guarantee you. So it grew from there, obviously, but a lot of people aren't willing to do that treatment and to take some extra gesture. And I think that's where the sort of leads a lot of people out. It definitely is a great dream out there to be in the hunting industry, and I encourage everybody to go after it. But you just have to realize that it's not going to be glamorous, and it's not going to be quite as easy a path as what you take. You know, what I always tell people is the best way to do it is either part-time if you're trying to do it, you know, building your own band, or go to work for a company that's already in the hunting industry. You know, if you're a finance major, or you're an engineer, or you're a graphic designer, there's need for those people at companies like Hoyt and, you know, Nikon and Realtree. They employ people like that. So you can get into the industry without having to take a massive amount of risk. And that's kind of what the paths that I would recommend.
Great. Well, that's great insight. Actually, it's great wisdom for our listeners that are saying, you know, how do I do that? What does it really look like? And like most people that I've talked to who are successful at life, they paid a price. There's no shortcuts.
Yeah, and it seems like if you take the path less traveled, the payment cycle is a little bit higher too, you know, because the system's not in place really, and you kind of have to teach yourself to drink food until you figure out kind of make your way down the road, basically. So that's, I don't discourage anybody. I think it's awesome. Everybody should go after their dreams. You just have to have your eyes open when you're doing it.
Agreed. Let's talk about the white-tailed deer, and you've got lots of opportunity to hunt, and you have your favorite places. And I'm thinking about when you look at a new piece of land. Say you just picked up 100 acres someplace in Iowa, and you haven't hunted it before. What do? What's your first steps?
My approach is to work backwards, and this is something that has evolved over the years. It's not just trying to do something differently from everybody else. I really truly believe this is the best way to go about it. You've got to find your low profile entry and exit routes first. You can't hunt an area effectively with the deer notice of anyone. I've got a good friend named Jim Hill. He gave me an analogy one time. He said, if you're going to try to rob somebody's house, you wouldn't go walking up to the front door banging on a base drum, and then once you got to the front door, start sneaking around. You basically would have to start sneaking long before you even got into the neighborhood. So that's kind of what the whole shoot of success, if you want to call it that, with whitetail deer hunting, is you look for the best film locations that you can find on these low profile, sneaky in and out routes. And they're not always easy to find. Sometimes you're going to end up with some pretty marginal film locations that don't have a lot of deer activity right there. But you're better off starting in that location than to look for the best sign on the property, where you've got the highest level of activity, then straight in there and put a tree stand up, and then, as soon as you start hunting, just pile right in on top of that spot right away. Because what you do is either kill a deer right away, if you're lucky, and you educate a lot of deer, if you're not lucky. Because you really can't hunt them right in their highest activity areas very much without them knowing that they're being hunted. And I think that's the biggest mistake a lot of people make. So I'm always very, very conservative. I find those places where I can sneak in on it first, and then we'll backwards from there.
Thank you for that. I'm hearing, and just add on, that you really hunt the fringes of where the deer are, not exactly where they are.
And sometimes you can get exactly where they are if it's set up perfect, but it almost never does. So if you think about it, you've got to be able to sneak in and out without getting picked off by the deer, either on the way in. Let's say you're going into a morning spot, so obviously you've got to avoid the places where they're likely to be in the morning, which is where the open fields and the field edges. And then you've got to be able to sneak out of there after your morning hunt, which means you have to be able to avoid any places where they're doing that bed, because that's where they're going to be at the time when you come down to leave. So you start thinking about that, and there's nothing to take where I can pull that off. And then on top of that, the wind has to be perfect so that when you're on pin, you're not having deer get downwind of you and trick you off that way. And let's take it one step further, you can't have deer crossing the path that you put in and out, because they're going to pick up on the ground, if they're not on the ground, on the low vegetation. They'll pick up the places that you cut. So what I end up with a lot of times are fringe areas, like you say, because the harder, the deeper you push, the more likely you are to educate more deer. But once in a while, you'll find that it's a setup, and usually it revolves around either a ditch or a creek or something like that, where you can get down below the bank and you can get back in someplace that otherwise you might not be able to. That's the only time that really I've had much success going deeper into the habitat. If I've got some kind of a strange feature like that I can really take advantage of.
Thank you. Share with us one of your funny moments, whitetail hunting.
Got a lot of.
You've probably got thousands of them.
Well, they're not necessarily funny. I've got a lot of disappointing moments.
Well, share those if you want.
I ran through a stretch about 2 or 3 years long where it seemed like every buck I shot at dropped during the, at the time of the bull going on. And I hadn't encountered that too much in prior years. Either I'd just been really lucky, or for whatever reason, maybe I hadn't had to stop too many deer, that were watching, that were more likely to react. But, it was a pretty humbling thing, because a lot of it occurred on camera. And with the format of our online show, we pretty much are uncensored because we certainly, we're family friendly, put it that way. But,
Right.
we don't do a lot to sugarcoat stuff. If something bad happens, we kind of go through it and explain this is what happened and here's why and here's what we're going to do to fix it. So I just seemed like year after year, maybe like 3 different really good bucks over the course of a couple of seasons, dropped at the time of the shot and I didn't play. And some of these would do that I hunted for quite a long time. Some of them would do I hunted for 3 or 4 years. So you get some pretty disappointing moments along the way, and I don't necessarily say that we've had a lot of funny moments, but I think those disappointing ones are the ones that kind of stand out because those lessons that they teach, they're lessons that you don't forget, and I think they're lessons that the viewers don't forget either because they can put themselves in your position. Then they see it happening, and they see the anguish, and they see the or it
was me.
Yeah.
I can raise my hand. I'll raise my hand.
Yeah. So, you start someone up with very specific problems. And, I will say I've had a number of crew-ups that are really, nothing than my favorite things to say is that the trophy win of the ones that have gotten away, would be more impressive than my trophy win that I have. The ones that I've killed. I've had some really good deers get away. I think the one up in Alberta goes back probably at least 10 years now. And it was a great season hunt and a great big giant pin. And I'd say it was 180 inches minimum. Big triple 15 pin, beautiful chocolate red antlers, just a giant body deer. It was in September. He just recently set his velvet and just gorgeous deer. Yeah, he's coming down this trail and he's about 20 yards behind me and it had been raining hard and I've been standing in the sun looking down at the ground with my head up over my head and I just thought, well, the rain's good, I better glance and see what's going on. So I looked and there he is and I started to enter my shooting range and I kind of panicked and I thought, well, I've got to move quick here. So I got everything more or less in order before he was just leaving the other end of my shooting range. And I was bringing my bow down, had to, moving it down fairly quickly to get onto his lungs. So it's just an easy shot. You just take a 20-yard broadside shot for granted. And I never got the bow stopped. And I figured the release as my sight was still coming down across the step. And the momentum of the bow carried the arrow below his chest. And it thumped into a rotten log that was just passing on the ground. It made that exact sound of a hard shot or a long shot deer.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is perfect. And I got him. What a great hunt. And he runs about 15 yards and he's going to tip over. Well, I knew I was in trouble when he walked out into the alfalfa field and started to feed.
Yes, you did.
So, I've had enough of those, I guess, to be pretty humble about this whole process.
But just the video, as you were talking there, I'm sure our listeners should get the same thing. All of a sudden, they're in the stand and they're going, "Oh no, oh no!"
Yeah. Oh, I know it's painful, but and I think that's how people learn. It's a lot more fun to teach with success. But I think the best lessons are often learned from the disappointment.
I can attest to that, and I can agree to that, and I bet a lot of our listeners can too. Talk to me about food plots.
Okay. And for me, they really pay off during the late season. I think really early and late. During the rut, I think you can feel best fairly consistently on travel routes and sitting over summers and places like that, where the deer that are moving from point A to point B are likely to move through. You don't necessarily have to have food to make the rut work. But early and late season, that's really when everything revolves around the food. You don't have that same sense of urgency and stress in the early season like you do in the late season. So I really find the payoff for food plots is the late season. If you've got good food and it gets cold and the deer, they're had a little bit of time to get comfortable after the firearm seasons are over, you can expect them to start moving during daylight coming into a really good favorable food place. So that's kind of when they really pay off. The strategy for the rut that I use here that works pretty well with food plots is just having really small, like half-acre size, I'll call them micro plants, that are tucked into the edge of the timber, or sometimes maybe there's a logging road that gets a little bit wide, and you can turn that into a 50-yard long by 20-yard wide food plot. Those places are dynamite during the rut, because even though the buck may not come in there to feed, every time he passes through that area, he feels the need to come by there and just check, has a good ability here that was an extra, any discussion a couple of sprays, to walk the length of the food plot and then goes around. Those seem to be almost a hub of all the local activity in the area around it that it's more natural time. So that's where I think the food plots play the biggest role for me. Early and late, the early season not quite as effective as late season, but both of those times can be really good. And then having those little small micro plots during the rut that pulls all the activity, into one little spot that's within bow range. That works really well.
What are your top 3 to 5 tips for somebody that is just starting out in arch? Let's stick with archery hunting for whitetails. What are your 3 to 5 absolutes?
I think the number one thing is you really have to keep the deer from knowing that they're being hunted. You can set up in some spots that aren't great, as far as having a lot of deer activity around you. And you can eventually kill something if the deer is still moving naturally during daylight. As soon as they figure out that they're being hunted, a lot of that natural movement disappears, and it gets really, really tough to kill them. So if you're going to err on the side of caution and hunt the spots that you know you can get away with and hide it with the deer. And the problem is the deer can learn in a lot more ways than what we think they can, especially at first. We don't realize how sensitive they are to hearing things and seeing things. We think because we didn't hear them snort, that we didn't see any white tails passing through the woods, that we got away with it. But that's not necessarily the case. You have to go to great lengths to do all their senses for a whole day of hunting. So I think that's the number one thing. Number two is try to keep it simple. I know a lot of people get confused with all the different ways that you can hunt whitetails. There's super simple. They're basically their lives revolve around this summer, especially during the early and late season. So find the food, look back into the summer just a little ways from the food. You should have some good success there. During the rut, find the center. You don't necessarily have to know if there's a straight line or a red line or something like that. You can really get confused with all the science and trying to interpret all that. So just find the places where to go around the open gate, through an open gate, or where to go around the end of a deep ditch, or maybe where to cross a creek, or maybe there's a bucky sometime that's next to little smaller woodlots, and the deer walk along that bucky sometime because that's just the most obscure route from one woodlot to the other. Those are all kind of classic type funnels. You don't need to know a whole lot about what the deer is doing. You just need to know that it's got a spot where they're concentrating when they're moving. So I think those would be the main ones. I think there's a million things that when you start diving into it that you can come up with. But if you focus on those two things, you're going to have a pretty decent successful season.
Thanks for that, Bill. Other than your own content, do you go to any specific sites on the internet looking to see what's happening, with some of the other people in the business?
Yeah, there's a few. We get so busy that I don't have a lot of time during the season to sort of browse around. I do obviously check out the weather channel all the time to see what's going on there.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's not necessarily the weather channel. There's like 2 or 3 different websites that I use that I look at and make sure that I know what wind direction we're going to have that day and the next day. And the reason I want to know the next day is because I've got to plan one day ahead already. Because you may not have the perfect plan for the next day. If you're sitting there thinking, well, I could hunt here this afternoon, but I'm going to do tomorrow. So sometimes you got to sneak in at midday and sort of stand up someplace and then sneak out and then sort of hunt someplace else for the afternoon and then come back to the one that you stood up the next day. So you always have to try to stay at least one day ahead of what the wind is doing. So it's super, super important to have a good wind forecast. And that's kind of a route I want to go to more than one website because sometimes they get slight differences. Normally they're all sort of pull from the same National Weather Service type of programming, but there's some obviously some slight differences between them, which I want to see what those are. I think Facebook and some of the social media gives us a sense of when other people are having action. And that's pretty fun to kind of keep track on, seeing what deer people are showing and stuff like that. But as far as, the purely what's ready for sort of thing, I think I'm basing that more on my personal pictures and where I know there's a show of the brush, and then with the wind is telling me.
How about the moon phases? What do you think about that, or what's your take on that?
Well, I'm not a believer in it. In the way, put it this way, I don't think it regulates the rep as much as the media has tried to lead people to believe. And the reason I say that is because there have been enough studies done where they've done back testing of fetuses, where they'll take a fetus from a bird that was harvested during the late season and they'll back test to determine exactly when that fetus was conceived. It's pretty easy to do, and it's an exact science. They can get within days or two. And that has shown without fail over some longer periods of time that at least in my part of the country, the peak of breeding of the rep is November 15th, plus or minus a day. So you can say, well, I guess I look at that and I think, that the moon phases have changed over those years, where it wasn't a full moon every year, it wasn't a new moon every year. So the moon phase really didn't affect when the average peak of breeding occurred. It may affect the amount of daylight activity that you see possibly. It doesn't affect, in any significant way when the dose and the dose. So rough timing, I'm going to hunt the primary days that I've found through the years to do the best, regardless of what the moon phase is.
Well, folks, we're coming up to the end, and now it's Bill's turn to tell us about Midwest Whitetail and give out contact information. So, Bill, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. And really, it's pretty simple. Everything that we do is on the MidwestWhitetail.com website. We've got another aspect of that site that we launched recently called Whitetail Watch. And you can get to that through MidwestWhitetail.com, or you can go to WhitetailWatch.com. And the Whitetail Watch site is actually our own social platform. There's a lot more interaction there between our pro staff and myself and the people who are regulars to the shows. And we get a lot of questions from people, and this is importantly, and more importantly, from national planners, we get a lot of activity updates from people. And that's kind of the main focus of the Whitetail Watch, is for everybody to contribute primarily during the season, what type of activity they're seeing, what the deer are doing, where they're are they feeding on beans, have they moved from the green grouse to the grains. So just trying to keep everybody sort of in the loop as real time as possible. Midwest Whitetail itself is really focused around the videos that we produce. And we produce a weekly episode that airs, comes out every Monday morning. Even during the off season, we produce new things talking about deer management and property management and planting food plots and different subjects like that. And then during the season, of course, as we get closer to it, we start putting together some of the lists of the bucks that we're going to be hunting that season, laying out the plans, just kind of take the viewer along on the story of the season, basically. It's kind of fun from that standpoint because we're throwing out ideas of what we're going to do to play this year. And most of the time, those strategies aren't effective. So we have to make midstream corrections and there's a lot of to and fro, and you never know how that stuff is going to end because you never know. So it's as live as you can get. So that's what we do. The TV circles, like I said, it's on the system channel. That's a lot more premeditated, and that one sort of follows the script a little bit more than the online shows. Those things are unscripted. They just say what happens. So that's kind of a wrap up of what we do. So you can check it all out at MidwestWhitetail.com.
Bill, thank you so much, and I look forward to having you or possibly some of your pro staff people on the show in future months, and hopefully one of these days when I'm traveling through Iowa to Wisconsin, we'll be able to have a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I appreciate the time chatting with you, Bruce, and good luck to you this season.
Okay, thank you for listening to Whitetail Rendezvous. Have a great day, everybody.
As your host at Whitetail Rendezvous, I want to thank each and every one of you for spending your time with us today. I look forward to sharing with you in the next episode more whitetail hunting tips, techniques, and stories. Until then, keep the sun at your back, the wind in your face, and always be patient.
If you have any tips, comments, or suggestions, or what we can do to improve, because we're here to serve you, let us know. Thanks for listening to Whitetail Rendezvous Podcast at www.whitetailrendezvous.com.